What's going on, everybody? If you are new to my channel, go ahead and smash the subscribe button, tap the thumbs up, as well as turn on post notifications, and stay tuned for new content that I have on the way. Now let's get into the main portion of this video.
A dream is something that starts small. It begins at the bottom of your heart and fascinates your brain till it conquers you. A dream is nothing, and yet it is all the dedication, the sleepless nights, the maniacal research, and the limitless passion with which you nurture it till it becomes everything. And when you make a dream come true, it feels so light and powerful that it takes your breath away. Because we work with the same matter that dreams are made of. New DUCATI SUPERLEGGERA V4, dedicated to all dreamers.
Now I'm going to do things a little bit different with this video. This is the brand new DUCATI V4 Superleggera. Over the last few hours, over the last 24 hours, there has been a lot of pictures and a lot of specs that have came out about this bike. Now, from what I've been reading, Ducati says it's going to be 234 horsepower. Now, that is in the race setup. Straight from the factory, Ducati claims 224 horsepower. But after you put on the supplied full titanium Akrapovic exhaust, it bumps the horsepower up from 224 to 234 horsepower. Now, 234 horsepower for a production bike, each and every year, Ducati seems to push the envelope and set the bar higher. That's a lot of power. Now, I read an article a couple days ago and I watched a video on YouTube. Somebody was talking about these new production bikes coming straight from the factory with, 250 horsepower eventually. It's going to happen. That's a lot of power for a production motorcycle, like I said. But is that power really usable? Will the bikes be rideable at that point? Are they even rideable at this point? Yes, I've seen somebody that owns a V4R. He's able to ride that bike very easily. I'm sure it took him some time to get used to it, but if they just keep upping the horsepower each and every year, will the motorcycles even be rideable at that point? Will they be rideable on the street? I know a bike like this and the V4R and some of these other production motorcycles with high horsepower numbers, they're not made to be ridden on the street, but lots of people do ride them on the street. But on some of the tracks, will they even be rideable? Will it even be fun to try to tame that 200 plus horsepower to the wheels? But that's enough of that. So let's jump into some more of these pictures and some more of the technical things that I've been reading about this motorcycle that's supposed to be going into production April 2020 and be released to the public May 2020 with a price tag of $100,000. Now, I'm sure a lot of people, when they see that price tag, they instantly just say no. Me personally, even if I had $100,000, I definitely would not buy that motorcycle at all. I'm sorry. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. Is it worth it? With that $100,000 price tag, you do get lots and lots of carbon fiber. Carbon fiber subframe, carbon fiber frame, carbon fiber winglets, carbon fiber wheels, just to name a few off the top of my head. Everything that you can think of is made from the lightest weight materials that there is. Not to mention the lightest weight camshafts, screws, as well as a dry clutch that comes extra with the racing kit straight from the factory. And that's not even it. This bike is going to be super limited, especially with that high price tag. They're going to produce only 5 per day with a total number of only 500. Like I was saying before, with it being a limited edition bike, you do get a racing kit that's applied from Ducati with the full titanium Akrapovic racing exhaust, carbon fiber dry clutch cover, a bike cover, carbon and titanium swing arm covers, mirror block off plates, a number plate holder, and headlight and rear light covers. Now let's talk about these new biplane winglets that you see in this picture here. Now with this bike, there's going to be a set of 4 winglets. Now on this bike, these biplane winglets deliver up to 110 pounds of downforce at 167 miles per hour. That is almost close to 70% more than the V4R's winglets. So now this takes me back to what I was saying before at the beginning of the video. Is this bike going to be rideable? Not only on the track, but for the people who are going to buy it for the street, will you be able to control all that power? Will these winglets do their job? Okay, so moving on, enough of the winglets. Let's get into the weight of this motorcycle. So I was reading, and if I can remember, that this bike, the dry weight of this bike is going to come in at around 330 some pounds. Now, once you put in fuel, oil, and all the other fluids, this bike should be anywhere near and or right under 400 pounds. And that is just insanely light for a production motorcycle. Now, some 1000cc motorcycles, 1000cc super bikes, and even 600 motorcycles weigh way over 400 pounds wet. Okay, so I get it now. After doing some research, I've realized that Superleggera in Italian means super light, which makes sense. This bike is going to be absolutely crazy. Okay, so now that we talked a little bit about the power and the weight and the price and the extra accessories that come with the bike, let's talk about what this bike aesthetically looks like. This bike looks beyond aggressive. I know that the V4R and the V4S, they looked aggressive, in which they still do, but this bike just steals the show from all of them. This bike is going to be something to see in person. The only thing I have yet to see, since I've been doing research on this bike, I have yet to see if Ducati is going to change any of the electronics on this bike, which this bike is definitely going to need every single rider aid possible out there. But with that being said, let's jump into a little bit of what it looks like underneath all the plastics and underneath everything else. There's a picture here of the frame, the subframe, everything with the plastics taken off the bike. As you can see, if you look really close, carbon fiber everywhere. Now, in my opinion, but for $100,000, I mean, I'm not really sure what to say. I mean, you do get a very light and very powerful V4 engine. And as most Ducati enthusiasts know, this is the first time in history that the V4 would be used on the Superleggera. As you can see, it still will come with the top spec Öhlins suspension, front and rear. It will have the top tier Brembo braking system, the Style Lima R calipers, as well as every top tier part that you can think of. Now, Ducati has not released really any specs so far. I'm going based on research that I've found on the internet. So once Ducati releases the official specs, and everything that's going to come along with this motorcycle, then we'll know. The Ducati, the famous dry clutch, is back for this motorcycle. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I mean, I've heard it in person, and it's just, the videos and everything else do not at all do the bike justice. Now, this is a aerial view of the V4 engine inside of the frame, and it looks as if the dash is still the same as what was on the V4R and what's on the V4S, all the new 2020 models. I'm pretty sure it's a 5-inch TFT full color display. Now, here I found a screenshot. It's not directly from Ducati, but this is a list of everything that's going to be included with this bike, the specs, the power, pretty much everything that I've already went over. Some of the things I left out, like I said, I didn't really get a chance to research it as much as I wanted to. I just got down to the things that jumped out at me. But this is a long list of what is all involved with this motorcycle. Now, I heard rumors of this bike 2 or 3 months ago with it being named Project 1708, and I went to a Ducati event at my local motorsports dealership. But after I heard it was going to be $100,000, I thought, I'll probably never see this motorcycle in person. I'll see it on videos and everything else, but never in person. But somebody that I know possibly might take delivery of this motorcycle here in a few months. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Smash that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. And stay tuned. I got a lot of content on the way.